Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this deep stretch yoga practice. It's important to remember that if you are experiencing any sort of intense pain during this practice, that you need to listen to your body and stop or slow down. With that being said, let's get started. So start with bringing your knees together in a kneeling position, and then we're gonna open them up. So open your knees out as wide as they possibly can. You can bring your body a little bit forward to take a little peek to see if you can have your toes to touch at the back, and then sink your hips all the way down. And then bringing your arms forward or chest forward, just taking a minute to feel the sensation, this really nice hip opening stretch. Take a breath in and out as we get ready for our practice. Good. Now we're going to take our right hand over towards our left knee. We're going to lean towards, we're going to keep that arm straight, and we're going to lean towards our right knee. And then maybe our shoulder is resting on the mat, and maybe even our right ear is resting on the mat. And just hold this in this pose, this deep stretch. I'm going to hold these poses a little bit longer. Let your hips be heavy. Focus on your breath. And then slowly make your way up. Come back to center to have your spine back in neutral, back into alignment. And then take your left hand to your right knee, same thing. So first we're leaning over towards our left knee, and then with a straight arm, relaxing our shoulder down to the mat. Maybe our left ear is resting as well. And then slowly come back up to center, bring your hands in front. And then sitting up a little bit more, taking your left arm up over your head and reaching over for a side stretch. So our legs haven't moved, just reaching, opening up the chest, reaching towards the side wall as much as you can. And then slowly coming back up to center and over towards the other side. Pull the belly in, engage every part of your body. Lift up, bringing your chest forward. Try to bring your elbow up. You don't want to look like this. You want to have your chest open. Lift up, heart forward. And then slowly come back up to neutral. And then bringing your knees together just for a quick child's pose. Bring your knees together and melt your body down. You'll bring your hands to the side and just sway from side to side, putting a little bit of pressure on your right leg and your left. Maybe dropping your forehead down to the mat. And then slowly coming up. Wonderful. Take your left knee and bring it to the top of the mat. And then we're going to take our right leg and slide it all the way down. Now, a couple variations here. You could either bring your foot in front of your body, or you could bring it to the back. So this is not really our pigeon pose. It's a different variation. We're just going to come all the way down. And then bring your hands over your head, reaching. So lots of stretching happening here. Maybe you're placing your forehead down on the mat again.
Really engage your right leg out straight. Squeeze your glutes. And at the same time, reaching your fingertips to the top of the mat. Relax your hips. So unlike Pigeon, we are resting our hips onto the mat, especially if our heel is forward in front. Again, always listening to your body.
Good, and then slowly making your way up. You could flip your back toe, bring your knee into center just a little bit, a little back bend here. Then you could be on the mat, or you could try to lift it to make it a little bit more intense. Lift up. And then come back to center. Bring your feet forward and just do a little windshield wiper, the little 90-90. Your legs are at a 90-degree angle, side to side. Good, and then switch sides. We have our right knee to the top of the mat, and then wherever it feels comfortable, where you can have your hip down. Again, you could bring your heel a little bit forward, and then sinking down, reaching your arms up straight,
Really opening up the shoulders here. And then taking some nice breaths. Because if you focus on your breath, then you tend not to focus the intensity of the stretch if it seems to be a little bit uncomfortable. Stretch the left leg out, point the toes, maybe even tighten the glute.
And then slowly walking your hands a little closer to your body. And you're going to flip the back toe, come up a little bit more, and then push your hands forward. Try to straighten the back leg and lift up for a little back bend. Also a quad stretch. Good, and release. Bring your knees together for tabletop position. So we have our hips over our knees, shoulders over our wrists, doing a couple cat-cow, dropping the belly, look up. And then curving the spine for your cat. Separating your shoulder blades, belly button tucked in, tucked in. And then spine back to neutral. Bringing your left foot forward, we're gonna sink into our low lunge. So you can keep your hands on the mat, or you could lift up to really get the weight of your hips to sink deep. And just place your hands below your knees. Focus on your breath, pulling your belly in, relaxing your shoulders. Smiling, always smiling. One more big breath in. And then bring your hands, both hands, to the center, and then come up into a side stretch, sort of like your skandasana. Take a minute to find a comfortable position where you can sit down onto your right knee and pick up your left toes. And then you could take your elbow, try to push that knee out. And then when you're ready, bring your arm out to the side and hold. Good. Lower your hands down. Straighten your right leg. Come into a wide-legged forward fold. Let's grab onto our ankles or our shins or our feet or our toes. Giving ourselves a nice little pull. Pulling our body in. Maybe do a little bend in the knees. Good. Come up onto your fingertips, maybe heel toe, just a little bit, enough for you to bring your hands to the top of the mat, lowering the back knee. Now we have our right foot forward, low lunge. And then when you're all set, either you're placing your hands down onto the mat or bringing both hands up on just below your left knee. Or you might be on your right knee. There we go. Focus on your breath. Relax your shoulders. Smiling. Good, and then right into that skandasana stretch, side stretch, bringing your hands to the inner part of your foot and then open up. Take a second to find that nice pose where you could sink deep and then pushing that knee out to the side and hold. And then if it's in your practice to bring your arm up to the side, a little bit more intense, sinking deep. Good. Place your hand down, extending the left leg into your wide-legged forward fold. Just bend from side to side. Come up onto your fingertips, heel toe your feet all the way together. Take a second into your forward fold. Drop your head down. Should feel really good on the hips. And then slowly in this pose, you can walk yourself to the top of the mat, into your forward fold. And then place your hands down and then walk your hands forward and press up into your downward facing dog. 3 long breaths here. Let your heels be heavy. Really long breaths where you're hearing your lungs expand. Deep breaths. Maybe an ujjayi breath on the exhale, sounding like an ocean wave. Hips high. And then roll your body forward into your high plank position. And then lower onto your knees and then lower on all the way to your belly. Now we're gonna grab on, we're gonna do a nice little stretch where we're grabbing onto our feet for a quad stretch. Now push, the only thing that you need to focus on is pushing your hips in towards the mat. So we're pushing our hips down and then we're pulling our ankles in towards our glutes. And then try to keep your knees together as well. You can just relax your chin or forehead on the mat. Pull your feet in and push your hips down. And then slowly releasing your legs. Push up to an upward facing dog. So upward facing dog, point your toes, hips are lifted, shoulders away from your ears. Taking a couple breaths. Then slowly peek over your right shoulder for a twist. And then peeking over your left shoulder. And then drop your knees, sink back into a child's pose, keeping your knees a little bit closer together. Lift up onto your fingertips so your arms are higher. Take one breath here and then walk your fingertips or slide them to the top of the mat for your puppy pose. Go ahead and place your elbows on towards the mat and then bring your hands up to prayer behind your head. Hips are high. Feel this nice stretch in your chest and your shoulders. Try not to drop your belly too much. Tuck your abs in, protect your abs and your lower back. And release your arms down. Come up into your downward facing dog once more. And then lift your heels off of the mat. Squeeze your belly and your arms. And then sink your heels down, pushing your hands in towards the mat, pushing your heels down as well. So do this a couple times where you're lifting your heels off of the mat, coming up onto your tippy toes, feeling the weight of this downward facing dog coming up on towards your hands, your shoulders, and then sink deep. One more time, lift, lift, lift. And then as you lower the heels, really lifting your hips up, pushing your fingertips in towards the mat. And then lift your heels last time, bend your knees, jump to the top of the mat, and then into your forward fold. Go ahead and grab onto your toes, or maybe you want to go into your gorilla pose where your hands, the backs of your hands are on the mat and you're bending your knees, pulling your chest in towards your thighs. Always remembering to bending at the hip creases. Good. Placing your hands down onto the mat once more, and then bend your knees all the way down, and then sit onto your heels. Give yourself a nice little squeeze into this ball formation and come up on your toes at the same time. And then dropping our knees down, release our toes in our thunderbolt pose. So we're gonna recline this pose. So it's gonna be different for everyone. You might wanna bring your feet out to the side, or you're keeping them tucked in, and then we're walking our elbows back. Feeling this nice stretch, nice hamstring stretch, and then maybe you can float yourself all the way down. You really don't want to have like a big arch in the back either, so protect your spine, listen to your body. Maybe you want to, if you are down here, you want to see how it feels to stretch your whole body. Can get a really nice, intense, deep stretch this way with your lungs. Bring in a lot of nice oxygen. Or maybe you're just up on your elbows right now, and that's okay. Just enjoy this nice stretch. And then find a way to release your feet to the front, and then roll yourself all the way down. Give yourself a little stretch. And then bring your knees in and give them a nice tight squeeze. Good. And then we're going to go into a plow, or different variations to listen to your body for this one, or you can come up to a shoulder stand. So start just by bringing your hips up, and then maybe you want to bring your knees to your forehead or over. So you could start just by maybe bringing your knees to your forehead, and then maybe straightening your legs. Bring your arms down. Or you can go into your shoulder stand. So you find your inversion that suits you the best. And then slowly make your way out of this position, giving yourself another head to toe stretch. Find yourself centered on the mat once more. We tend to move around a lot. Place your hands down on the mat. We're going to go in for a twist. So bring your feet up. Make sure that your spine is aligned. Take your left knee or left leg, cross it over your right knee, and let both your knees fall over towards the right side. Have your shoulders relax on your mat. And then have your gaze look over towards your left hand. Slowing down your breath. Becoming aware of how your body feels. And then slowly bringing both knees up and switching sides. Left knee over right, and then both knees fall over towards the left side. Bring your arms out into cactus or to the side. Have your gaze over towards your right hand. And then slowly bring your knees up back to center, and just take a moment for a quick Savasana. Having your palms facing up into receiving mode. Feet fall from either side. Taking a moment to relax. If you want to stay in this pose, please do. If you're ready to close the practice, just take a big reach, Come over onto one side and make your way into a comfortable seated position where we give thanks and gratitude for this beautiful practice that is yoga, that gives us the opportunity to slow down and be mindful and really listen to what our body is telling us at each moment of the day. Thanks again for joining me. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.